Raptor is a B&M wing coaster located at Gardaland in Italy. It's actually the first ever B&M wing coaster. It stands 108 feet tall, reaches speeds of up to 56 miles per hour, and features 3 inversions. And overall, I really like this ride. It's in the middle of the park, but it's kind of hard to get to depending on where you're coming from. You might have to go across some stairs and a bridge, especially if you're coming from the Wild West area. It's kind of on its own plaza, so the presentation is great. But like I said, it can be hard to find. It's themed to a raptor, as the name says, but the theming isn't really all that great. They got some cattle pens with some chain fencing in the queue. There's some dark pathways indoors, but it's just very loose theming. When I went, Raptor was one of the more popular rides in the park. The line was consistently around 35 to 45 minutes. Talking a little bit about the trains, there's 2 seats on each side of the track because it's a wing coaster. There's 8 rows, so 32 riders per train. I prefer the rows toward the back because I felt like the drop was better back there and it was a little bit more intense. The restraints are this was the first iteration of the B&M Vest restraints, and I really found these constricting. They definitely hinder the ride experience. They're really tight on your chest and they continue to tighten throughout the ride. If you're far back in your seat, they'll just keep going until they press up on you. There's really no way to get around it. And at times it can be very frustrating because it'll limit the amount of airtime or hang time that you're going to have. However, vest restraints can be done well. Valkyria at Liseberg is definitely one where those actually enhance the ride experience because they don't tighten up on your chest as much. They allow you to move freely. These ones, they just stay there the entire ride. So going into the layout, you go up the lift hill and down a straight drop. This one actually does not have a wing over drop, and I really like this. There's some good airtime, like I mentioned, especially in the back couple rows, and I thought it was a pretty good drop for a wing coaster. After that drop, you go into an overbank, which really doesn't do much, but it's kind of cool being on one side of the track, especially when you're banked like that. The following corkscrew is decently whippy, but it's not anything particularly special. Like I said, the amount of hang time you'd get is kind of restricted by those restraints. The airtime pop after gives some decent airtime, but not too much. And up until this point, the ride has been okay, but not all that great. But after this is where it really picks up, and the second half is where it shines. So after that airtime pop, there's an intense 180-degree curve into a floaty 0G roll that offers some hang time. It's a nice contrast of forces going from intensity, and then you immediately feel floaty. You then curve to the right, twist to the left, and then go into the inline twist finale. This is definitely the best moment on the ride. There's 4 back-to-back head choppers, and you can all feel them. They come super close to you. There's great hang time on this element because you're traveling so slowly. There's some laterals, and yeah, like I said, this is definitely the best part on the ride, and it is the last part on the ride because after this, you hop up into the brake run. So overall, Raptor is a really fun ride. It's got that nice twist to it, that you're on the side of the track instead of under or on top of it. It's got some standout moments, like I mentioned, the drop's really good, the inline twist, and then some of the other inversions. It's not a phenomenal ride, but it's definitely solid. It's kind of what I was expecting for. Just a really good ride that complements Oblivion the Black Hole nicely to create a nice 1-2 punch at Gardaland. I do prefer Oblivion to this one, but I think it could go either way. Nevertheless, this is a really good ride, and I will be giving it a 7.5 out of 10.